My name is Sridhar Ranganathan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shankar Mahadevan Academy, but I'm not a musician. I have to tell you that the last 10 years of running this academy has been living a passion. It doesn't feel like a job. I've found the perfect job, if you will, where I live it. I'm not working it. Okay, the first thing is listen. Listen to music. Just listen to any type of music. It doesn't matter.
Good morning, Sridharji. Namaste. It's a real
Namaste.
pleasure to have you as my guest. Thank you so much for being here today. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. I'm excited to chat with you too.
Thank you. Tell me about your growing up years. What were they like?
I grew up in a suburb called Sion in Mumbai, at that time it was called Bombay,
Right.
and I went to Saint Joseph Vadala, which was a fantastic school. And just that we are in our batch, we are still in touch with each other. And then I went to SIS College for my pre-university education. Then I went to Ramrao Vadik Institute of Technology, which is now called as DY Patil University, which is in New Bombay.
Right.
Now, as I grew up, what I realized is I learned a lot of things from walking the streets of Bombay, as much as I learned from the schooling. That really helped me when I went to the US and came back. I worked for a year in Mumbai and I was about 22 when I went to the US. I did my MS in computer science from Villanova University, which is in Pennsylvania. Then I went westwards, worked for Xerox Corporation for about 5 years. At that time, I also finished my MBA from UC Berkeley. And around that time, when I finished my MBA, I was thinking of doing something different, so like starting a company, but I accept that I didn't have the courage to do it.
Right.
So I joined the next best thing, which was a startup. At the time, it was called Pure Software. It was started by Reed Hastings, who is the current CEO of Netflix. It was a fantastic journey of 3 years where we went through 11 mergers and acquisitions, which eventually excited me and gave me the courage to start my own company. The three friends of ours, three of us who were college mates in India at the DY Patil University, Anurag Mendekar, Mohan Vishwanath, and me. We started something called Online Anywhere in '97. Essentially, we were talking about it one night, and we said that someday some people will use email on a phone. And this was '97. Of course, there was no phone. It was kind of that was the phone we started with. One thing led to another, and the internet really took off in '98, '99. And '99, Yahoo acquired us, and we were part of a division called Yahoo Everywhere. And then for the next 3 years, we did a lot of significant deals with a lot of mobile operators who would use Yahoo services on the mobile for their offering. Fast forward to 2003, when I came back here to set up the Yahoo Software Development Center. I did that for about 2.5 years until about 2006, I think. And later, the whole entrepreneurial bug had bitten me again. I started a company in what is called as sensor-based automation. The easiest one to think about is a sensor that is stuck to your car, and then when you approach the toll booth, the thing opens by reading the thing, and then the money is gone off your thing. So it's sensor-based automation. Again, we were very early, 2006. Nobody was thinking about it, or few people were thinking about it, but then they were all big companies. So we did pretty well for about 2 years. The 2008 crash, the financial crash, just wiped us out again.
Right.
So that's the first time I took a break for about 4 months to figure out what to do next. When I was at Yahoo, what I realized was it was very, very hard to find good people. Even people from really good colleges would come for interviews and they would know the basics. So in Yahoo, we actually had a plan to train them and get them on board and that kind of. But my thought went to about how can we fix this early on? How can we do this make the education better in a way that what, there are two types of India, right? One is the fortunate ours, where we have a very strong family background that helps us, and there is the other part of India where they're the first time school goers. So how do we help them is the thought that struck me. So in 2009, I started this company called Clood On Learning, or Clood On Inc. The word Clood On came from getting clued in on the cloud. It was cloud-based computing. So I started that company, and we had a prototype within about 4 months. and I went from school to school, college to college, about 50, 60 places. They did not, buy it. They did not even understand the idea because, 2009, the internet was still, buffering and all
Sure.
kinds of things. And they didn't think a computer, they would mistake thinking that the computer would teach the children, not the teachers. What I was trying to give them was the computer will give them the knowledge of how to teach better. And so 2009 kind of went me, doing a lot of legwork up and down.
Mm.
And then in 2010, I was on a flight back from Bombay to Bangalore, and I was reading the midday newspaper, and I just happened to see this article by somebody about Shankar Mahadevan applying for a government land grant to open
Right.
up an academy.
Mm.
It just so happened that Shankar was my classmate in college in engineering,
All right.
and and then I called him, and it took me a while to connect with him because he was Shankar Mahadevan, and I'd lost touch with him. So it took me a while to connect with him, and I just told him, "Listen, I know that you applied for a land grant. That may take 5, 6, 7 years, 10 years, and we don't know when it will come. But we have all the land on the cyberspace, on the cloud. Let's just get started."
Sure.
So he thought for a little bit, and he said, "Let's meet in Bombay." So I went the next week,
Mm.
and he had written down three things. I had written down three things, and they were exactly the same: how to make classical music easier, more fun, less frightening.
Mm.
You have the respect, but then there is always that confusion between respect and fear for children. So how do you make sure that the children enjoy it without fear, at the same time respect the guru and the knowledge art form?
Sure.
So we kind of went around thinking about it, and then I was fortunate enough to find a few people who subscribed to that idea, and then we
Mm.
started the Shankar Mahadevan Academy in 2010, and we actually launched the academy on March 3rd, 2011, which is Shankar's birthday, and we are just approaching the 10th year of the academy.
It's very interesting how your journey from Mumbai to the US and back to India with so much of valuable experiences that you've learned in the process. It's very interesting to learn about Shankar Mahadevan Academy. It would have been quite challenging for you to convince people to perhaps understand and accept your model for this online learning.
So with Shankar, it was very easy because we
Oh,
had a past, a history when we were in college. So
right.
the trust was already there, so it was not
Okay.
very hard.
Mm.
And Shankar also is a computer engineer. So while he might have thought a little bit about how to deliver music online, I also told him the story about how you can start email on this phone to today
Mm.
iPhones, right?
Mm.
So human beings, we are very versatile and we adapt when we need, and the need has to arrive. And I used to think during the last 10 years that maybe we were a little early because some people have a lot of questions. Some people actually thought I was blasphemous to do it online. I know it was not the right thing to do. But I used to tell them, there's an Indian child in Finland growing up, and they have no access to Carnatic music. No,
Sure.
what's wrong in giving them the access? Do you want that child to be deprived of the art? So those are really subtle examples, and there are many examples like that where
Mm.
you can get this beautiful art form out to people.
Absolutely.
We don't have a problem with human capital. We have a lots and lots of people.
Yeah.
But in the land of gurus, we don't have good teachers. The whole profession of teaching has been taken away from a level of a guru to a seventh grade employee, government employee.
Sure.
You need to give that impetus, the motivation, the whole halo about what a guru is. Guru, mata pita guru daivam. That guru has gone way somewhere down. It's not in that third level now.
You are absolutely right. There are so many platforms available, Sridharji, these days. So when it comes to, deciding on the best option, having a gamut of organizations, how do you think that SMA stands out and why should they opt for SMA at all?
The world of tech ed or ed tech, as it is called, is in two ways. One is it's a way where you have an umbrella organization that offers you music and yoga and this and that and that. So it's like a storefront. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what they do is they connect with people who are subject matter experts, and they create silos where you can learn classical music from this person or that person, that kind of thing. Okay, that's the way that is. Basically, that those businesses are trying to empower a musician who already exists. Okay.
Right.
Now, there are second types of education institutions online like us, where we take the onus of getting the gurus, getting the curriculum with a very progressive curriculum, so that when a parent comes to our side, they not only see what they can learn for the next 3 months, but they also can see what they can learn for the next 10 years. So we have a very extensive curriculum where we have designed it like a US college. Like we have 100 series, 200 series, 300 series, and 400 series. 100 is beginner, 200 is intermediate, 300 is advanced, and 400 is masters. Apart from that, we have a huge library of repertoire of various compositions from a lot of different gurus from the past and
Right.
composers from the past. So what we are is focusing on a very specific way of delivering education, not for the short term, but a very well-defined plan that the parents can see what their children can go through. That's the fundamental first difference. Given that we have so much content, we have something called online music book, where the students can go and look at and listen to the compositions even after class. Now, between classes, we also have something called Om Riyaz, online music Riyaz. What happens is that the student would go to a particular page, they'll see, watch the video of the teacher, they'll see the lyrics, and they'll have a recorder right there, Om Riya's recorder. They can sing multiple times and choose to send the best version to the teacher. So between the two classes, the teacher and student are still interacting without a class, where they are singing and the teacher is singing back to the student, saying, okay, you made a mistake here, the sangati was a little not right, do this, do that. So the children are better prepared for the next class. And apart from that, we have assessments and certification. We take it very, very what you call seriously to make sure that the students acquire a certain level of proficiency before they go to the next level. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of gurus do this because they are also very sincere about their art form. Here, what happens is the biggest difference that is different from one guru to other academy is the parents get to see exactly what we're doing. It's completely transparent every step of the way. So if you go to our website, you can see the first course, the second course, the third course, how the child is improving on a regular basis. And so because a lot of our students come from non-musical families, they don't know better. So we want to educate the parents along the way as well.
Right. One of the things that's really struck me, in a very positive note is it is very important for the parents to get information about how the children and the learning for children is, progressing over time. The concept is amazing, and I happen to see the Facebook and the website as well, which has got very valuable information, and it's very methodical, it's very structured. As you said, it's a comprehensive system which offers so many other options, right? And that's amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. But what I feel is if you have the interest and if you really want to learn something, the medium of education should not be the barrier. As long as there's clarity of speech, the clarity of screen, like what we are doing now, that should not be a barrier for you to learn. You can say that in-person learning is better, certainly, but that should not be the barrier not to learn. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is Shankar, being that brilliant person, he came up with this mission for the Shankar Mahadevan Academy. It's just three words: joy of music. Now, these three words give you the ultimate freedom to do various things, and I'll tell you a few things around it. First is we structured our courses joy of music, so it can go across as many people, whatever ages they want, right? So our youngest student is not even born, and our oldest student is 92 plus. When I say not even born, is we have Garbh Sangeet for some pregnant woman. Now from Garbh Sangeet, so I call it -1 to infinity. So Garbh Sangeet, and then when the child is born, we have something called rhymes, lost lullabies. So why part last lullabies are lost. The whole systemic way that we learned languages from our grandmothers and such is just lost. So we are trying to revive the loris and the Vaipatis so that the children can really enjoy their native language to when they're growing up. From lost lullabies, we go to rhymes to swaras. So see, I'm not a musician, so I'm very dangerous because I ask questions to musicians that they don't know answers because they have learned it in a way where they have not questioned anybody. So I asked Shankar, why are you learning Saregama Padani? He thought for a bit and he said, every song is Saregama Padani. Every song, really? Even Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? He said, yeah. Then he said, I asked him to sing Twinkle Little Star. I asked him to sing Shakira's Waka Waka. And he converted all that into sargams and sang it. I said, wow, why didn't people not think of it first? Even I would have been interested if I was a child, if I can sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star in swarams or sargams. So Rhymes to Swaras is a very very beautiful course that we have for children aged between 2.5 to 5, which is a very nice transition step into classical music because they already are not afraid of the sargam. Saregama padani is already there. And then we have something called Grow with Music that we teach for children in schools.
Mm.
And then we have in Hindustani Carnatic and film music, and then there are other courses. But to the conversation that you're having, the whole mission joy of music not only allowed us to create courses across the ages, but also allows us to go to underprivileged. So, for example, in 2011 we started the academy, but then in 2014 we set up a trust. So we take the same curriculum, same teachers, and we deliver to the slums of Dharavi, Govandi, and Chembur. And those children also come online now because of the pandemic. And then, so there are many other programs under the trust, but the idea of joy of music is how can we deliver joy other than just learning came up.
Sure.
Now we have started something called SMA Nirvana, where we have our teachers sing to lonely people. They could be terminally ill, they could be in a cancer center, they could be in a senior care center, there could be an orphanage, it doesn't matter. We have our teachers sing to them online. We actually were going into the centers, but now we are teaching them online. And yeah, no, and today if you go to Shankarji's Facebook page from 2 days ago, there is this fantastic clip of the orphans dancing like crazy. And if you can give that 45 minutes of joy, so our philosophy is more than just learning music. And music, you may not be the best singer, but you still can give joy with music.
Absolutely, very rightly said. The most important thing is one should really enjoy when we sing. That is of utmost importance.
And we have multiple programs on the trust. So Inspire India project is where we teach underprivileged children. Then we
Right.
have Archive to Alive, where we try to get compositions of lost composers. We have forgotten people. So we try to get that and make it available for free for people to listen and learn. Then we have SMA Nirvana, which is to sing to the lonely people, whether it be ill or any which way we think about it. Then we have SMA Muskurahat, which is where we are collecting an endowment where we'll use the interest to support musicians' families who have been abandoned or they have been in an accident or even during the pandemic, a lot of people, Nadaswaram musicians, they have
Yeah.
no livelihood. So we are trying to create that endowment to support musicians, SMA Muskarahat. We have Joyful Choir, so joy of music, right? So we allow, with the Joyful Choir project, we reach music to people in the autistic spectrum or Down syndrome or the special children, and then we have more other things in works. So see, if anybody knows Shankar Mahadevan, I know him very in close quarters. He's a very genuine, caring person, and for me, it is important to showcase the academy as a place where we value music for everybody and it's very inclusive, and it's not just for people who can afford it. Money should not be the only way that you can learn music. Those are kind of things that we very, very strongly believe in. The other
Absolutely.
thing we do is we take all the musicians who come to us and we convert them to teachers. It takes us about a month and a half to convert them to teachers. We have a very strong pedagogy practice. We have a teacher certification course that they have go to. Because out of the 100 musicians, we find about 5 to 10% who are teachers. Because teaching is a very different art form.
Yeah.
You need to understand how to motivate a child. How if a child is not getting it, you can't just say repeat, 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 repeat,
Yes.
or you sing sa sa sa. That child is just getting bored and getting frustrated. So we have different techniques of how to get a child to feel motivated and feel happy about what they're doing. Essentially, the Shankar Mahadevan Academy, we have done a good amount of work to repeat what Shankar has done in his musical career in the education space.
Fantastic. I mean, now that I've spoken to you, I get more of clarity, and I'm able to appreciate as a parent and also as an artist the amazing work that the academy is doing currently. How do you think that you will be able to sustain, because you're not focusing on just one particular discipline, right? How do you think that you will be able to sustain and keep the progress ongoing?
Yeah, we have two things. One, we actually started it about 5 years ago, and one we started about 2 years ago.
Right.
One is to reach out to more schools where we get children to enjoy and love music. Okay.
Hmm.
Then you can start to teach music. Okay. First thing is just for them to enjoy music. So we have a curriculum called Grow with Music in our schools, where what we are seeing is once the students are going through that program, they actually come and join for classical music. Okay. That's one. Now, of course, all the schools are shut because of the pandemic. We'll probably
Yes.
restart it next year. The second is we started having smaller centers. We had two centers in Bangalore, one center in Pune, three centers in Mumbai, which are all shut down now. Again, we will revive it. The idea there is not to teach them, but for them to come and collude, to have a community, for them to touch and feel, sing with each other. You can probably even create a Western band with Carnatic music or whatever. A space where people can come and explore their own music to new compositions. One thing that we are very strong is in each one of our courses from the first course, we say music is a performing art, not only performance. So art. So the way we think about it is sa re ga ma pa da ni. Think about them as seven colored crayons. Okay. Now, as you would give a 3-year-old child the crayons to draw, as a parent, you say, "What a fantastic composition! Why can't we do that in music?" So that's what we do in our class. Even in the first 2 months, the students are starting to compose. By the time they're in the third, fourth year, they have composed beautiful things. Because it's all about thinking how, right? And then once you start putting that small tweak of composing, so
Mhm.
now we are actually treating Carnatic music, Hindustani music as a performing art. We are not separating the art out of it. Okay? And art, again, the compositions get complex when you're working with different people. The lyrics are different. So we have SMA Samaj where we have people write lyrics
Mm.
for causes. So we have Ladli for the girl child. Garv se jiyenge is for the people with disabilities and things and so on and so forth. It's all in the website. But the point is, we get our children to compose for a cause that is important for them. And it's beautiful compositions come out on that. And
Fantastic.
so to your question about it, how do we sustain? One is the centers where we'll have more community, more people enjoying music. One is schools, and the third one is we're thinking about extending from music to other art forms that are slowly going away in India, like yakshagana, any dance form, for example, theater, the dastangui, kavad katha. There's so many beautiful art forms in India that are just there are only two or three who are practicing it today, or very
Yes.
very small. And I think we owe it to the children that they were there. Whether they pick it up or not is their cup of tea, but at least we have to present it to them, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah, that's really good. It is important to revive the older art forms also, which are almost getting into extinction. See, for example, if a child wants to learn, say they've already have learned with some other teacher and they want to join the academy. The reason why I ask you this question is because, we call it the patantaram, right? So when you learn from a particular style, right, and then you move to a different style, obviously expected that you will have to start from the start. So how exactly does this work? How do they go about? I know it is a very basic question, perhaps
No, no,
to
no, no. This is a fantastic question, Chitraji, because this is something that took a lot of time for us to understand how to do it, and when you were designing the structure of the curriculum. So what we realized is, regardless of what it is in music, first thing is swarasthanam and lay or talam. So those two things are basic. Forget about anything else. So our first 3 to 5 courses are based on that. So we have some courses in 100 A, B, C, D with of our children. Then 101, 102, 103. Then we have a SAR level exam. That 1.5 years, we expect the students to have a Swarasthanam at least in the 7 basic notes in the middle octave.
mm,
By the time they come to 107, they should have a Swarasthanam for all the 2.5 octaves, including all the 12 notes. Okay,
right.
so that's the idea.
Mm,
Now, to do that also, what we did was we created an app called Sur Sadhana. Now, Sur Sadhana is a free app for anybody to download, and you have to just sing Sa on your pitch, and Shankarji will come and say, "Great, oh no, okay," and then you keep trying, and you get a score for it. We kind of gamified it. It's a big hit with the children, okay, because they can get immediate feedback. So, if your question about it, so say student has learned 2 years from somewhere else. Now we'll come. So every course we have something called a prerequisite. It was very detailed. Okay, have you learned this? And when they come, they can read it and say, and then when they enroll, they have a test, a small test of sing this and send it to us. And
right.
our teachers listen to it and they say, okay, you are really good, you can join here, or you know what, you can join one course lower so that you get the practice and come to the next. So that's how it
Oh,
works. And or sometimes we find that the students will learn for 2 years, they're completely off. in the Swarsthanam, then we ask them to start from the beginning.
Fair enough. Very important name associated with the academy. Will Shankarji really have the time to interact with every student as such? And how does it go about?
It has so we have what we call as recital series, recitals, concerts, and performances.
Right.
Now we have something called teacher-led recital. That's the first step, which is the teacher who is teaching, say, 30 students. They will have a recital for their own students, and they'll invite one or two more teachers to come and give comments.
Mm.
Now the next one is the curriculum coordinator or the Carnatic head or the Hindustani head recital, where some parts of the 30 students, they get to sing to the curriculum coordinator, and that happens once a month. The teacher-led recitals also happen once a month. Now we have, after that is Sangam. Once a year we have an annual program. Until last year we used to have it in a auditorium, and one year we had it in NCPA in Mumbai. Otherwise we are doing it in Bangalore, where students from all over the world come for 2 days. They spend time with each other, they meet their teachers, because they are learning online, they actually get a chance to meet the teacher in person,
Kind of
and
presidential program.
they prepare for it. And usually Shankar comes to listen to them. Also we invite people like Arunaji Sairam, Hariharanji. Last year it was Shreya Ghosalji and Purban Chatterjee. So people like that who come, and one year it was Kaushiki Chakrabarti ji. So they come and encourage the students, and then Shankar usually has a master class with them. So if you can go back and look on YouTube, you'll find all these videos where there is this just beautiful sessions with Arunaji and Shankar, Hariharan and Shankar, and Kaushiki ji and Shankar. It's just beautiful, and that inspires children to do this. So that is Sangam. Then we just launched something called Prayag, where we will take the student through a journey of 3 months to polish and give them a stage for Arangetram, for music.
Right.
And then we'll also do the same thing for budding artists who've already done some shows, but then they need some finance, some tweak, how to preserve your voice. What are the correct sequence of compositions to look for that suits your voice? How do you make sure that the audience is appreciating you? All of those techniques will be taught. Okay, so that is another where Shankar is there. In the last 1.5 years, we have started having Shankar come for what we call as Vidyaram series. Every time a new student joins, we collect about 300 students, and we have sessions of 50 each, where Shankar comes and gets them initiated in the process, the first class. Now, Vidyaram, of course, is Dasara, but we can't do Vidyaram, we can't wait for 1 year to do this. So we do it almost every second month. It will be live on Facebook. So you can see how patient Shankarji is with the children. He makes them sing. He makes them sing in any language. He teaches them the Saregama Padani. It's just beautiful. You go ahead and watch it if you can.
It's only for children.
So we don't have any age limit. Like I said, our academy is from -1 to infinity. So like I said, we have a lot of 40, 50, 60, 70-year-olds who come and enjoy it. Usually what happens is children below 8 don't come for Vidyaram because they really don't know Shankarji. Yeah. The people who are older know Shankar. So that's when it is more, there's a more bigger connect.
Sure. Fantastic. So what do you think would be your message to all the young people out there? What is it that you're trying to convey through this?
Okay, the first thing is listen to music. Just listen to any type of music. It doesn't matter, because one of the things I early on realized is, even me not going to a music class, I know at least 200 songs. I may not sing well, but I know 200 songs. So your first teacher is a year, right? Now, if I take what I know and practice, then I can sing better. The teacher comes when you have to tweak the finer points. Oh, you're missing this swaram. You're missing this harkat. This is not. You're missing the raga there. One note is going there or something. Or it could be better if you do this. So that's when the teacher comes. Yeah. You can actually learn music just by listening, and that's the first thing. I would encourage every child, every parent of the child, to get them to listen any type of music. It doesn't matter. That's the first. And don't force a child. We tell oftentimes to parents, just because you missed your chance to learn music, don't push your child to learn music. Let them come. Joy of music. The child should enjoy music. Otherwise, there's no point. You will push, and then they will just build a resentment towards music. You don't want that to happen. So don't push any children. So those are the two fundamental messages I want to give. Listen to a lot of music. Don't push anybody that they don't want to do.
Amazing. Wonderful work what the Academy is doing as such. And I'm sure a genius and a musical legend such as Shankarji, and with your knowledge and expertise, I'm sure, the Academy will flourish further in the years to come. My best wishes to you, Shankarji, and to the Academy as such in the future years. How would you describe yourself in 3 words, perhaps?
Dreamer. I'm a dreamer. I'm practical, and I'm very committed and faithful. Essentially, I don't go back on my word.
Who have been your influences in your life?
My mother, Reed Hastings, and the writer called Malcolm Gladwell.
What is the recent book you've just read?
That's the easy one. I just finished reading my wife's book. My wife's name is Deepa Sridhar. She has written a book. This is her first book. She published it about 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Fantastic. Please convey my best wishes to her. Your favorite food, cuisine?
South Indian. What my grandmother's recipes, my mother's recipes. I love to cook, but I try everything. But when it comes to an avial or a karavarsul, I just love it.
Your favorite holiday destination?
Greece.
Very inspiring chat. Thank you so much for giving me your valuable time and speaking about the Academy. Best wishes to everybody who's associated, to all the wonderful teachers there.
Let me thank you for saying those things. I really, really thank you for you to take the time for doing this. I have to tell you that the last 10 years of running this academy has been living a passion. It doesn't feel like a job. I've found the perfect job, if you will, where I live it. I'm not working it. So thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
On a lighter note, I usually tell people this. My name is Sridhar Ranganathan. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shankar Mahadevan Academy, but I'm not a musician.